Hold on. Bang! Hello, everyone. And now, this is Will. Bang! How are we doing, everyone? How are we doing? Surely today is a wonderful day for all of you. It's a wonderful day for me. Holy, we got a bunch of cool stuff to do. What's up, Kino, Doodles, Ozzy, Pigs, Toe, Grinya, Numa, Mimo, Corey, Bren, Venmium, Unme, Gaming Beast, Sharky, Azalin, Newt, my goat. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you to no end. Quadrupede, Grinya, we got everyone on the YouTube. What's up, Azerpy? Schnozzle, I'm sorry you just narrowly missed out on the first. I hate to say it, but Azer beat ya. What's up, Charlie? Roar, Roach, Besic, Tazares. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Today, yeah, what's up, Labyrinth? I'm very happy I got you into UCH. Welcome in, welcome in. Today, two things. First, I want to do a little watch party of the Renth video. I've already seen it. I saw it the other day. Before he finished, I gave him a couple tips. But I figure, you know, why not? Let's have a little watch party, because the video is flames. Absolute heat.
Finish line.
After that, I'm going to be demoing the UCH training mod. I added some really cool features yesterday. And I am so bad at making things and not showing people, because I just want to show it off. There's such cool stuff. And you know what, real quick, I can even do another demo. For those who haven't seen it, for those who have not yet seen... Oh, this is the secondary display. Let's do this. I made an input display mod. There's so much stuff that you can do with it. If you want to remove the keys, change them to any layout you want, you absolutely can. Reset key layout. You also can resize it. You can move wherever you want. You can put it on the second monitor. Control K. Set size and position. You can change the color. So much stuff you can do. You can move it to any corner of the screen. Whatever you freaking want. It's awesome. Another very cool thing that I added just recently is this. There's controller support. So you can see angles as part of this now. I need to make a little change so that, like, when I'm switching directions, it doesn't, like, you know, the opacity doesn't go crazy, but yeah, this is what I'm working on. I think this mod is just about finished, so I won't have to worry about it anymore, but that's one of the things I've been working on. I'll show off the training mod after we do this demo. After we do the watch party of Renth's video. Day 999, still no Jump King map. Video sneak peek today? Yeah, why the hell not? We can even start with that. This very instant. Let me pull it up. Sneak peek of the biggest video of all time. Fingers crossed. It's always impossible to tell how well a video is going to do. I think this one has the potential to do very well because, like, I mean, guys, look at this thumbnail. Holy moly. I cooked, man. At the bare minimum, I feel confident that it's my best thumbnail ever. But we'll see. I didn't know you used DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is like the best free software ever made. It's actually insane how good it is. It's ridiculous. It's so good, I'm gonna be paying the licensing fees to get the full version. A, because there's a couple of things I need from that, but also, it's just such a good software, I might as well support it. Alright, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look. This is not the current version. There's a lot more filled in the version Damu's working on, but... what's the best spot for me to start? What's the best place? Because I don't want to do the big reveal. Alright, this works. This works. Let's start here. I'll start right here. This adds the acceleration of your grounded jump to your wall jump, so you go higher. I'm sure you see the pattern by now, but SFR makes it easy to do this consistently. It makes it so easy, in fact, that when I first discovered that you could do this with SFR, I tried speedrunning this map. Elevation time is one of the first custom levels ever created in UCH, and it's incredibly simple. Just jump up the wall as quickly as you can. If you're really trying to get a good time, you can go faster by chaining super jumps into each other. Because this map is so old and tests such a fundamental skill, this is a highly contested world record. I loaded up the map locally so that I wouldn't affect the leaderboard, then speedran the map five times using SFR. In those 5 attempts, I shattered the world record all 5 times. SFR is so powerful that something which would normally take thousands of attempts can be done effortlessly. Alright, we are back. We are back. That is all for now. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want to spoil too much of the video. Wait, that's the Warby Shuffle? How's that a shuffle? Well, you're gonna watch the video tomorrow and find out. The Warby Shuffle isn't the tech. The Warby Shuffle is just a smidgen of what the tech is that somebody discovered, but the whole tech, like the tech that allows you to Warby Shuffle, is the tech that allows you to do a billion other things that are absurdly broken. Absurdly broken. And not tomorrow. You won't find out tomorrow, sorry. You'll find out on Friday. What's up, Oliver? Welcome in. Welcome in all the YouTube viewers. I'm missing everyone's names, but I'd have abused this? Nah, no way. Thought that the Warby Shuffle was a decoy name? The Warby Shuffle isn't really a name. It's just Warby discovered a use for it and called it the Warby Shuffle. And then that was the one time, like a bunch of people discovered the tech independently, but usually I was pretty good at like silencing them before the tech got out there too much. The Warby Shuffle people saw enough to make a name for it. Friday, you said Thursday? Yeah, I said Thursday, but I've been thinking about it more, and I think Friday is the right call, because like if I'm working throughout the week, Damu lives in Poland, so by the time I'm done work, it's already pretty late for him. So if and like the most important time for me to be working with Damu is at the start of the video. Because if we just work through the weekend together on the video, I can give him direction on everything and he'll get a sense for what needs to be done. Whereas like if he just starts out making the video from scratch by himself, there's a lot of things he might not be sure about in terms of direction. So doing it on Friday, release Friday, that gives me the weekend to do the new video with Damu. And then I can work through it the week, adding whatever to videos as I go. But yeah. Also, guys, oh my god, this is crazy. This is actually crazy. I was shocked when I saw this. You guys know Northern Lion, right? Like anyone who knows Northern Lion, I feel like most of, maybe I'm just chronically online, but I think most of you probably know the librarian as well, because he's like the Northern Lion guy. Dude, the librarian's a BoJack fan. He's a Raito. That's crazy. It's actually insane. Why is this, I just can't see the comments. Well, whatever, that's fine. I've been fanboying a little bit over that. That's crazy. Yeah, Northern Lion was an OG UCH player. That is true. That is true. Hi, about the wire crawl tech you made a video about. I did not. I actually didn't make a video. That was Renf. We're about to watch it. There are some examples of such obstacles in your videos. Are only walking ones banned? So it was recently banned. It's a long story, but it was banned way back in like 2019 because there was one player who really liked to wire crawl. And I saw that, like, A, it's not fun to play against, and B, you can't counterbuild it. If someone wants to force wire crawls, they can and they will. So it just wasn't good for the game. It was unbanned for a while, so if there's any wire crawls in my videos, that was during the period, like during the year or so where they were unbanned. But beyond that, they are banned. Just any wire crawl that is forced is banned. You did mention it in the general ban things video. Yes. Hey pigs, don't spoil too much about SFR, homie. Don't spoil too much. That's for the video, man. All right, let's watch the Rent video. If you have not yet watched it, I encourage you to open up this video in your own tab and watch it, along, because I don't want to steal views away from this. It's the last thing I want to do, but it's a good video.
Competitive Ultimate Chicken Horse has thousands of setups.
Let me know if the volume's fine.
But there is one that changed the game so much it dominated competitive play to the point it had to get banned. Given the opportunity, players will always optimize the fun and creativity out of a game. And this is the story of how they did that. This is the story of the strategy that broke Ultimate Chicken Horse.
Holy cinema. Cinema.
Competitive Ultimate Chicken Horse.
How do I make the buttons
is
on the input display longer? You currently can't.
Traps
I'll add
and
that feature later.
to stop your opponent
Little higher
from
volume?
making it to the finish line, while also being able to pass those traps yourself. Because of this unique gameplay loop, some players with worse skill level can actually surpass those of a higher skill just from being a more creative builder. Some players will focus all their time on learning a specific technique.
It's really funny looking at the difference between my videos and Ren's videos, because he loves transitions and I hate them. I use almost no transitions and he uses a crazy amount of transitions.
A little bit of their time in mastering all the different techniques. Different building styles will favor.
Wait, would this be a way to see if I enjoy competitive UCH without ruining games for real competitors? The training mod? Yeah, absolutely it will be. That is the entire goal of it. I want people to be able to dip their toes in and get to a competent level faster.
Their building game. They load up a match, place traps, and hope that they are the more skilled player.
True.
Counter building is a core concept in improving an Ultimate Chicken Horse. And that's exactly what made the wire crawl setup so deadly. Other setups normally can be counter-built though. For example, if the horse is better at wire vaults than the sheep can place this plank to turn it into a wide jump. Of course, this type of counter-build can level the playing field, but the best players counter-build in a way that gives them the advantage. However, the strategy that got banned are wire crawls. Wire crawls are built in...
I definitely need to start adding this to my videos.
However, the strategy that got banned are...
I think the way Renf shows things on screen is a lot better than the way I do it. As a matter of fact, Damu, I see you in the chat. The stuff in the elevation time segment, or the stuff in the double jump segment, I think trying to show stuff off like this would be huge
that got banned
for
are wire crawls. Wire crawls are built in any 2-block high area. They are performed by getting your character in between a small space while instantly crouching when you get there. Initially, this was seen as a cool setup that would find occasional use in competitive play. But over time, players started to realize just how powerful it could be, and they began targeting these setups. Some players' entire gameplay plan revolved around this exact strategy. But what made this strategy so powerful?
Awesome clip.
Well,
I really like
because the setup uses such a tiny space, it is practically impossible to build anything around it to nerf it. Essentially, whenever a player placed a wire crawl, it forced everyone to build around that strategy. So even a low skilled player could become the same skill, or sometimes even a little bit higher, simply by forcing these types of wire crawl setups.
Spike ball crawl is
if
also
a top
banned.
pro player used it himself? What if it was put into the hands of the #1 player in the world?
I think this is the fourth time I've watched this
That's
video
exactly what happened in the Distortion Grand Finals with Morphin against Kroiz. Morphin was the #1 player in the world at the time and Kroiz the #2. It was a dream showdown, with the two best facing off in Escher Gardens. In round 2 of 10, Kroiz sets up a 1-frame precision wall jump, and Morphin quietly places.
Renf actually speaks German. I think Kroiz is allegedly correct, but we just call him Kroiz because it's like the English bastardized version.
Both players struggle with the 1-frame precision, but Kroiz ends up taking an early 1-point lead against Morphin. The next round, Morphin continues to build out his wire cross setup by placing this crossbow. This is particularly difficult because normally with a wire cross setup, the player can use the wall above to slide down and perfectly align themselves.
That wasn't a pronunciation. That's just what he told people to call him for a while.
But with
because
Morphin
nobody
placing this crossbow, it forces the player to jump onto the pixels.
I like your pronunciation more. Yeah, I feel like it sounds like a more proper
precise jump because you no longer can use the wall above to align yourself. If you don't jump far enough, you die to the wire.
I want to start doing this. Damu, this is the highlighting I was talking about.
If you jump too high or too far, you die to the wire above. Yet, these are the two best players in the world, and they continue forward with no points scored. Kroiz decides to counter-build Morphin's setup by placing this plank above the wires. This completely removes the precision setup Morphin was going for. However, Morphin responds by forcing the wire crawl timing by placing
this is a video by Renf.
Shoot down at the
Renf, he made a video about UCH a while ago that at first it flopped, but then like a year down the line, it randomly popped off and got 300k views.
Spot, players usually spend a lot of time trying to align themselves with the wire. At this point, it becomes clear that Morphin is trying to force Kroiz to play into a wire crawl game. Again, both players continue with no points scored. Morphin clearly believes in his wire crawl game plan and continues to add difficulty to the setup. The next round, he places this wire, which by itself isn't so difficult to pass. But it makes it so the cannon is far more powerful. You see, normally with this cannon placed here, if you try to align yourself with the wire, you have time to back out in case you miss it. But with this wire placed here, it gets rid of all of the safety net, making you have to fully commit to the wire.
It is a very, I think,
just 4 rounds remaining,
I think it is a very difficult skill to be able to narrate things and
the pressure
keep it
is
entertaining the whole time. I'm going to be doing a script review with Renf later to go over some stuff that I think could be improved.
Morphin is fully committed to his game plan and places this trigger
we're on the grind. Me and Renf, we're on the
another
UCH content grind, just trying to improve, you feel me?
This placement ends up being the difference maker, and it gets Morphin a point, tying the game up 1-1. This was not a battle to win a grand finals. It was clear at this point that it was becoming a battle to become the best player in the world. With the game so tight, Morphin recognizes his advantage with wire crawls, and he forces a third wire crawl timing. Doing one of these is difficult by itself, but 3 back-to-back means you must be consistent. And with that knowledge, Morphin believes he is the more consistent player.
Dude, I'm excited for your video. Your script is good.
Because of this, Kroiz blows up the back end wire while also placing a black hole to try to mix up the setup and force a different game plan from Morphin. Kroiz's nerfs are enough to keep him in the game, and both players end up passing. But with 2 rounds remaining, Morphin gets the wire he needs to reinforce the 3 wire crawl setup. Neither player passes. And this is why the wire crawl setup is not
How's Kreutz number 1? I think it's just because Morph has been way too inactive, and Kreutz has at least been like winning stuff outside of
Able
that.
to be
Maybe I'm tripping and not
Kreutz
noticing
can try
enough.
to
But
nerf or blow
I
up a
honestly
wire,
think right now
but as
Morph and
soon
Kreutz
as
are
Morphin
clearly
places it back,
kind of
Kreutz
just
has
both
to
number
fold
1. It's a
to
1A,
Morphin's
1B
game plan.
situation. Like
There
I feel like they
is no
are
way
distinctly
around
in a
it.
tier of their own.
It's the
Nobody
last
else
round.
is
Kreutz
close at the
places
moment,
this
in my
plank
opinion.
to nerf the last wire cross setup completely.
But we'll
Both
see. I think things
players
are gonna be
beat the
shaken up
level,
big time soon.
And now the game goes to
No,
overtime.
I'm not gonna mention why,
In
but
overtime, both players
as always,
get
there's some
dynamite
really exciting stuff
and
in
get to
store.
blow one item
UCH
from the
community.
level each round that the players don't beat the course.
Oh yeah, it's like if you need any
And
help,
if the level
if
is
you need help
easy
getting
enough for
shots,
both
just let me know,
players,
and feel free to use the
it's a
active
race
thing
to the finish.
in the Bojack
First
server.
person to finish wins it all. And it all comes down to this. Whoever wins this will be the Distortion Tournament champion. But beyond that,
What about Raito?
will become the best.
Raito is very good. I think for a solid 2-year stretch, the tier of players was like tier 1 was Morphin, Kreutz, and Raito. And Kreutz and Raito were like very close, with Morphin pretty dominantly being the number 1. These days, tier 1 is just Morphin and Kreutz, and then Raito exists in like just the tier below. Tier 2 is like Raito, Fish, myself, VB if he entered, that kind of category of players.
Player in the world. Morphin blows up the plank Kreutz had placed to nerf the final wire
Most
setup.
people
Both
WASD,
players can't
Kreutz
beat the
uses
level.
arrow keys though, so both are fine.
Next round, Kreutz blows up the cannonball alongside the wire attached to it. Now it's a race. First person to the finish wins it all.
Holy chills. Holy chills. Blurring out the chat because Morphin was saying some heinous shit is awesome. It comes down to this wire crawl or bust. It's only fitting. The set so far has been determined by this wire crawl. Morphin could be the first one to get it. Is this the return of the king? Morphin! Holy commentary. Holy commentary. Is this the return of the king? Wow. Can you check announcements in the comp UCH server? I'm doing other stuff at the moment. Not really. If it's about the UCH Asia server, I don't know if I have much to say about it. Other people will see it.
Morphin continues his reign as the #1 Ultimate Chicken Horse player. So, it was games like this that eventually led the community to ban wire crawls completely. To be honest, it makes me sad to see
No,
a
Rev, don't
strategy
say it.
leave
Don't
this
say it.
beautiful game.
It makes me
But
sad. Don't say it
sometimes
makes you
to let
sad. There's gonna be
creativity
crazy
thrive,
people in the comments who
you
are like,
must
why would you
eliminate
ban
the
this? Ultimate
obvious
Chicken Horse
option.
players hate fun.
Sometimes
No,
the best
guys,
part
Wire
of
Crawl
watching a
sucked.
game's
Wire Crawl
strategy
sucked.
evolve isn't in finding the perfect one, but finding what comes next. That part of history is still to be written. I get to watch what will come next. Until eventually, the next broken strategy
This one had a
gets
portal.
banned.
So the reason this map had a portal, hell, I can pull it up right now. The portal is built into the level. Let me find Escher Gardens. It has this contraption already set up because that way the cannon will shoot an arrow through this portal in a way that like goes through the whole ass thing. It's just part of the level's built-in gimmick. It is dope. Very dope. You mentioned when are we unbanning wire crawls? Never! We had an experiment of unbanning them and now we know we don't even need it. Ever. Ever again. No thanks. But yeah, peak video, go freaking, I swear on my life I already liked this video. I swear on my life I already liked it. I don't know why I didn't show his like. Go like and comment, help out Renf. Very true. Very true, Katsy. All right. That being said, it is freaking time. It is time to show off the training mod. How do I get into Comp UCH? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you. The first and foremost thing you gotta do is join this Discord server right here, Competitive UCH. After that, go to the How to Play Competitive UCH channel, and it'll explain a whole bunch of stuff. That being said, this is going to be outdated very soon, because once I have the training pack mod done, I think learning how to play is going to be completely different. It's exciting. I'm very excited for it. Code gamble? I can't code gamble. I already have. It's all right. Okay, I'm gonna real quick. I just have to go check on my cat because I think I heard him throwing up. So I'll be right back. We are so freaking back. We are getting edged 27 minutes. You aren't getting edged. All right, so let me start out. I'll show you guys the stuff that, you know, you probably have already seen if you've seen the original demo I did. Ignore this stuff. This is all just temporary. But let's go into here. Okay, we got NPCs. When you talk to them, we have text and everything. Holy moly, the UI looks so good. Thank you. I locked the fuck in on it. So how far in skill does this stretch to? And this looks so cool. Thank you, looks so cool. The goal with this, because I have a bit of a controversial opinion when it comes to training packs or things like that in other games, I actually think they're usually a net negative for the community. Because if you add something that allows you to get better at the game, that doesn't make it easier to get better, because being better only matters how you are relative to the other players. All it does is add one extra step required to do before you're allowed to start playing the actual game. So I actually want to minimize the amount that you need to use the training mod. Right now, you know, in UCH, it's a huge problem where if you're a new player and you hop into a lobby with like me, you're not gonna have fun. If I'm playing to win, you're not gonna have any fun because I can just build things you have no idea how to do, and you're just dying over and over again with not like there's a chance you could get it if you just lock in and get lucky. You have to know how to do things before you can compete at a baseline level. So the goal of this mod is to make it easy to get to that baseline level. I want to minimize the number of hours it takes to reach that point where you know enough that you can figure things out on your own when you're thrown into a real match. Because like if you look at the Terry's Guide, right? It's done a pretty good job for years, but if you want to reach, I think graduate level is a good starting point for competitive UCH. If you're starting from scratch, how long does it take you to graduate? How many hours are you spending in free play doing nothing? Or not doing nothing, but like not playing the actual game. It's not a fun way to get started. This, I think, will be more efficient. It'll speed things up. And I think it's also just more fun because it's interactive, you know? Alright, so another NPC. The minimum jump height is about 1 block high. The maximum jump height is 5 blocks high. Alright, so look at this. I have zones programmed in that give you reminders. So if you're in an area with a sprint reminder zone and you aren't holding sprint, it'll pop up in the bottom right. Oh, you can't see it over my overlay. But you see there in the bottom right, it tells you to hold sprint. The same thing is true if you there's other reminder zones, like slow sliding zones. If you are sliding on a wall and the game sees that you aren't slow sliding, it'll tell you to slow slide. So all of like the super fundamental stuff that newer players tend to forget, I added reminders for. I've been doing a lot of like focus group testing for this kind of stuff, and I made the original level with all the instructions, and I kind of just watched people play it, and then as they played, I just took note of every single thing that they should be learning but aren't getting. And the biggest thing was just like, people don't hold sprint, people don't slow slide. So adding reminders for that kind of stuff is really, really big. Try getting this through the section by controlling your jump height. Okay, this is the cool part. Are we ready, gang? I need to re-record this with no hat on, but... Holy moly, there's dialogue stops, and I can resume the cutscene by pressing spacebar. Bang. Alright, but do you want to see the... This is so cool. This is so cool. I figured that, I'm going to be making a whole bunch of tutorials, and it's going to be so time consuming if I have to program everything every single time. So I made an editor. I made an editor for this. So let's load in basic movement pack. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. What did I just do? I just pressed the wrong key. Okay, hold on. I'm actually just going to restart my game. I was not supposed to do that. Holy hour count. Society is UCH. That seems real. Guys that play UCH casually, but I want to be good at it too. What is better, to play keyboard, mouse, or controller? I personally recommend everyone starts out with keyboard. In the focus tests, focus group testing that I did, where I like had people just run through the training pack, players on controller took a lot longer on average to get through it at the start. Controller is just as strong as keyboard, give or take, at the top level, but when you're starting out, it's a lot less intuitive. Like, slow sliding is a pain in the ass to do. And there's just a lot of extra stuff you need to learn. So the learning curve is steep at the beginning, but when it comes to like movement and stuff, I think it's easier, not a bad code, on controller. Okay, I'm gonna go in with no top hat here so I can show you guys this, because this is so freaking cool. All right, so this is the base level. This is the base level, right? So let's go here. Maybe I want to add a sprint reminder, in this section. Let's zoom in. Let's go here. Reminder, sprint key. You can add a custom message if you want. All right, let's play test this. So if I'm not holding sprint, bottom right, hold sprint, you fool. Hold sprint. Bang. Let's go back here. Maybe I want to add a checkpoint so that, like, you get to a certain point, you don't have to restart from the very beginning. So let's add this checkpoint. Bang. So now, as soon as I've added that, if I die, I put the checkpoint too low. My fault, my fault. There we go. You can add checkpoints. Bang. Let's imagine, right? What if I want to add an NPC? I just press N, go in here. Let's zoom in on this bad boy. NPC. I can add dialogue, so I can be like, hey man, look at this. Apply. Let's go in there. Now we have an NPC, interact to talk with them. It's in there. What if I wanted to add a cutscene? Just go here, add cutscene. Oh, wait. What I have to do, this one is a bit more confusing, okay? Go into UCH Studio like this, set up the camera however you want it. Let's do this. Okay, that works for the cutscene. Let's go in here, bang, add cutscene. Okay, wait, fuck, what's the most recent one? Give me a second. I need to work on this bit. Cutscenes. The 30th, 5:03 p.m. is 317, ends in 317. Here it is. So I add that cutscene to it. If I go here now, as soon as I go to him, this cutscene plays. Holy moly, very cool. What if I go here? I can also edit the cutscene. So let's say I want to add dialogue to the cutscene. Maybe I'll start here, add a dialogue stop. In UCH, you can move. And then maybe once he gets to this part right here, hold down to crouch. And then maybe once he gets over here, hold R to dance. Oh, and you know what? If I do it like this, hold dance to dance, I think this works. Let's see. Let's try it out. Let's talk to this guy. You see it, you can move. It doesn't advance the cutscene until I press spacebar, hold down to crouch, bang. Yep, okay, there, it works. So I can add keys directly to the text as well. We could all ungatekeep if we learned how to mod. I'm not gonna gatekeep for long. Yo, Pierre, thank you for the sub. My goat, I appreciate you. The game didn't get an update, man. This is all me. This is all me. Let me see what people are saying. What is that fake outfit? It's just a byproduct of me recording. Okay, first let me put this onto UCH so it doesn't cut out when I scroll. The fake outfit is just a byproduct of the way recording works right now, because outfits are not supported yet. Can't wait to speedrun this. There won't really be speedruns. There's not going to be a leaderboard or anything. What about adding a snap to grid/half grid for your resizing the zones? I'm thinking about it. The thing is like, I'm designing this tool just for me. You guys aren't going to have access to making training packs, because like, I thought about it. I thought about whether or not I should make it possible for people to post their own training packs, but I think it would be bad for the game. I think making it too easy to learn things outside of playing the actual game means that playing UCH has less to do with playing UCH, and I think that's a bad thing. So I'm only really making these tools for my purposes, and as long as they like can do what I need them to do, I don't really need to add extra. Oh god, what's happening? UCH is evolving because of this guy? Thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm locked the fuck in. I'm locked the fuck in. I think this is my 23rd mod that I've made now. I'm really getting the hang of it now. It's going so fast. Elephant hitboxes are not any faster, don't worry. Wait, this is sick. Thank you, Henwy Fishing. Ah, yes, just go into UCH Studio. Well, that's a separate one. That UCH Studio isn't released yet. I do need to finish it. It's just, with how many people are joining for my videos, I figured that, like, getting this mod done first takes priority, because I want anybody who joins for my videos to be able to easily start playing UCH and enjoying it. Right now, if someone asks me, like, how do I get into UCH, I don't have a good answer, and I think that's a problem. I think onboarding is really, really important. Bro made RPG Maker and UCH config. A little bit. I want to make a practice map for the most niche tech and setups in the game. No, I probably won't add that. Here's another thing that is very important to consider. Anything that I add into the practice mod will become meta. Because, you know, if people learn how to do something through this, they're going to place it in games, and if people place it in games, that propagates through the rest of the community. So I need to be careful about what info I'm giving out. I don't want to teach people how to do some degenerate thing that is not good for the game if everybody were doing it. So the super niche tech, I probably wouldn't. If you want, I probably will make a training pack on like the most common knowledge checks, because getting knowledge checked is so frustrating. So if you have ideas for any like easy common knowledge checks, Send them to me in DMs, please. Genuinely, actually do that. I'm keeping a list. I could use as many as I can get. Bojack is locked in on the YouTube chat. I'm trying to log in on both. Oh my god, thank you for the 55. I don't know what this currency is, to be honest. Ah, it's the lira, I see. Can you play as an elephant? It's for my fat friend. That doesn't sound very nice. I don't know. I don't know if I want to anymore. Thank you for the donation, though. That's really kind. What is your opinion on the new UCH characters? I like them. I'm not a huge fan of Platypus. And like, if you're playing casually, I think they're both great. Competitively, I'm not sure yet. I think Fox could be decent. I think Platypus is not a great character. But, that's fine. Yo, thank you, Rye. I'm not making a stage on Cycle... Actually, wait, I will make a stage on Cycle Stack, and you're right. You're right. That is the right way to do it. Bojack doing good for the guys making things NASA can't make it. Bro, NASA surely couldn't make an Ultimate Chicken Horse mod. I bet that one for sure. I'm not adding a wire crawl tutorial. Hell no. Using my second monitor to see the YouTube chat so I can Bojack Max? Dude, I need to get a third monitor so I can have both chats up at the same time. Don't know, it's like 125 or something, by the way. I don't care, but the money itself it's more about the thought, you know? Anyone showing their support is a very kind and awesome thing. The Temple Coin video guide. I don't know if I'm ever going to be adding that. It's really funny. I will say, it is really interesting looking at that, like, period of my channel. Because, like, I was trying to figure out... This is around this point. I didn't mention this when we were watching the Rent video, but I probably should. You know, I've been making UCH content for a long time, but I gave up on it. You know, I wasn't great at it, truthfully. And also, I just didn't believe that UCH could make it big on YouTube. But as soon as Rent's video popped off and got, like, you know, it was like 100-something thousand views at the time, I'm like, maybe this could be something. So that is the whole reason I am where I am today, because I came back to content because of Rent. And it started right around, like, here. I started trying to change up what I was doing. I started trying to I did this video because I'm like, maybe I need to appeal to newer players. And then this video did better doing the same thing. And then this video started to pop off. I'm like, wait a minute, you know, there's so much that I can do here. Then I made a story-based video and it did the best of any of them yet. Like, you can see the progression. It's kind of insane. I feel like so many things just clicked for me all at once. Like, looking at the thumbnails. These thumbnails suck ass. These are bad. And then one day I just figured it out. Mostly because of the advice of Damu. Damu's thumbnail advice was very, very helpful. And then this video showed me that, you know, storytelling videos do well. And then the Raito video showed me how thumbnails actually work and how storytelling works. And, you know, from there, things just kind of cascading. It's really cool. When is this releasing? I need ASAP. I don't know. I hope it won't take too long. Because my whole goal with making all of these features for, like, making it easier to make the packs was so that I could get this done really, really quickly. I already have spent months and months deliberating on the best way to teach people how to play the game from the ground up. It'll be a little bit different now that I have more tools and access to things in-game that I couldn't do before, but hopefully it won't take too long. Who taught you how to play? Oh wait, bro is the reason why this game is still going, even though you're retired 5 billion times. That is true, I did retire maybe a few times. Wishark and Terry are the two people, Wishark, Terry, and Larspers. Those are the 3 people who I think had the... Okay, wait, no, there's more. Wishark was the guy who got me into the community in the first place. I saw his name on speedrunning leaderboards, and he's just so good. So I messaged him, I'm like, hey, is there a competitive community? Like, how do I get involved in this? This is really cool. And he sent me the Discord. From there, the first person I ever played with in competitive UCH was Terry. He beat my ass for a little bit. It was awesome. Coldheart was extremely influential because he was just so ridiculously good. And having a goal like that, like a goalpost, something, you know, in the far off distance for me to line my sights on, that motivated me to keep going. And Larspers was like... Larspers and Giga Yoshi were the two people I played with a lot early on, just learning the game, practicing. They were good friends. So I think those are the 5 most influential people for getting me into the game. You think there's a chance some mods could be placed in the game? Absolutely. No question. I don't think this mod could be placed in the game, and I actually don't think that it should be. I think that having competitive stuff separate is good for the game, because I don't want to make it easy for people to get so good that casual games are not fun. I want only the people who are interested in playing competitive explicitly to find this. That's why it's better as a mod, in my opinion. For the same reason, this is a long-term plan, because I have a lot going on, a lot that I need to finish first. But this is something I do have my eyes on doing eventually. I really want to make a mod for exclusive competitive matchmaking. Because if you're, like, going in the public lobbies and you join a competitive lobby, sometimes you'll find some decent players, but, like, as a competitive player, I find matches through the Discord. That's the only way to really do it. But if we had a separate matchmaking queue, I think we could just plug and play, you know? You don't need to go to the Discord for matchmaking anymore. You could just go into the lobbies and matchmake. You could have ranked built in, stuff like that. I think that would be, like, huge for the game. That is something I really, really, really want to do eventually. Casual games will stop existing as soon as players learn the actual hitbox stuff. Yeah, for sure. That's why I think it's good to gatekeep a little bit. There needs to be friction. There needs to be some friction. We can't see your screen. I know, you can just see UCH at the moment. I don't have anything crazy on the screen. I did Terry's guide, but I feel kind of shy to try ranked or tournaments. Join an amateur bracket. Don't feel shy. Because you never know. This might just be something special that, you know, really resonates with you. And the only way to know, the only way to find out is by trying. People are super welcoming. People are super welcoming, and there are a lot of new players in amateur tournaments, so, like, don't feel too scared. There are a lot of people who join their first ever tournament and they still win like 1 or 2 sets. Happens all the time. The vid's tomorrow, right? No, the video is on Friday. I'm moving it because that works better with my actual work timeline now. I love the hardest spring and the speedrun videos so much, but I don't think you'll ever make content of that kind. I wouldn't say never. Never say never. Because the thing is, I want this to be my life. YouTube is already doing well enough that, like, it is my job. Even though I have a real job now, YouTube is my primary source of income still. And I want that to continue for as long as I possibly can. But a worry of mine with regards to that is that, you know, what if I run out of content? Right now, I have about 40 videos lined up. I have the scripts for probably 10 of them, either partially done or fully completed. But if I'm posting weekly, like 40 sounds like such a big number. If I'm posting weekly, that's not even a full year. I want to do this for multiple years. So a part of my plan is that eventually I'm going to need to branch out and, you know, do more styles of content, find other ways to make things happen. So I wouldn't say never. I wouldn't say never. It's totally possible something like that happens again. It's also very possible, if not likely, that stream content returns eventually. Time will tell. Bojack, you kind of failed us in history class. I don't know who Larspers is. Larspers was a good player for like about a year when I joined. I think early 2020 is when he kind of tapered off and wasn't playing as much. He was, you know, I will give you a little bit of I'll give you a little crash course right now. Why not? Let me make sure I'm not opening any documents that I'm not allowed to open. All right, little crash course. 2019, we'll say. This was the landscape of UCH. We'll do it in the tier system, the same way we did, you know, do now. Tier 1 was Coldheart. He was so much better than anyone else. I cannot overstate. It was never close. Nobody was ever close to catching Coldheart until Kiata. Tier 2 was Sato, otherwise known as Autumn Blaze, and Kiata. I think it was pretty distinctly, like when I started out, it was very clear that Coldheart was number 1, and then Sato was number 2, and then Kiata was number 3. There was no, they weren't close in skill to a point where it was debatable, But Kiata pretty quickly caught up, reached that second tier, and eventually that first tier. Tier 3, we had people like Old Grip and Sip, otherwise known as Kevin. This is the guy who made the grip jump. He was a controller player, and he was unbelievably talented. I think in terms of how skilled he was relative to the hours he played, he's for sure one of the most talented players ever. Sorry, I should say Wishark was very clearly number 4. Old Grip and Sip was up there. Larspers was up there. Tier 4 was like a guy named Cop League. Kojitsu, y'all remember Kojitsu? He was great. Af, Run, Ford, people like that. This was like the landscape of UCH when I started out. It was kind of in a weird state because like there were great players of the past, like Jotun. Jotun had won multiple tournaments. He was Cold Heart before Cold Heart. I think he was generally considered to be the best player before Cold Heart showed up. You had Dreadnought, you had Index. These were all like tournament winning players, very good. Oh, and also Terry was somewhere in here. He was also good. And then I joined, and things started to change. I think probably I no-lifed UCH for the first year that I played. I was looking back at some screenshots a while ago of the number of hours I had, and I was looking at the dates of those screenshots. I reached like 600 hours played in like a month and a half-ish. I was playing UCH all day, every day. It was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So within a pretty short time span, I reached like this tier of players, tier 3. MLG, Robo Jesus, throw him in there. Throw him in there. This is what it was starting out. Things got interesting in around late 2019. What's Sharky saying? Bojack was legit always in a lobby with Cold Heart. Dude, it was the place to be. It was the place to be. Sharky, do you remember when Cold Heart would post screenshots of the scores of the matches he played? And we would play with like 7 or 8 points or whatever. And it would just be a screenshot of him scoring 8 times in a row and no one else being close. I remember people posting screenshots of them scoring a single point. The score would be 7-1 in favor of Cold Heart, and people would post screenshots of it like, guys, I scored on Cold Heart. And it wasn't just like scrubs, it was like top level players. I remember talking to Larspers one time. I was DMing him, and he got mad at me for pinging him, because he's like, dude, I'm in a match with Cold Heart right now, and I have a real chance of winning my first ever game against Cold Heart. Why would you DM me? Because it was that serious. It was that serious. He didn't win the match, by the way. 600 hours took me a year. I was a grinder, dude. I was a grinder. I got to 2,000 hours in... I mean, hell, we can see. 2,064 hours of Ultimate Chicken Horse speedrunning. Is there a date on this? February 21st, 2021? Okay, it took me a little bit longer than it. I think I slowed down after the first few months. But I still played like a shitload, just not, you know, every week, every hour of every day. Must have been so peak. It was peak. It was peak. Back, old school UCH was just such a different experience. It was such a different experience. But it was great. It was more personable. And people would always like, Discord matchmaking was a thing, but people didn't use it as much. It was more so just like everyone who played the game had every other player friended on Steam, and you would just invite people and you just play. It was awesome. I liked that. UCH back then was just random slop. No, everyone could have been top 1. No. Cold Heart was way better than you think he was. As a matter of fact, Flower, I think your current skill, if you went back to 2019, you would not score a point on Cold Heart. Do you have all? I don't, unfortunately, have it all archived. I really wish I did. No, okay, let's put it this way. If everyone could be top 1, wouldn't I be top 1 then, back then? I've played then and I've played now. I'm better than all of you, you know? Unless, you know, there's a couple people in this chat who can break that claim, but... How much would Morphin win by? Morphin would destroy Prime Cold Heart. assuming, this is assuming we're not giving Coldheart time to, like, if Coldheart had a month to get used to the modern game, I actually think it could be close. I think Morphin would win, just because the mechanical skill required is so much now, and Coldheart is old enough that, like, you know, learning is slower. Holy Glaze? It's honestly not Glaze, it's just the truth. Alright, Wishark and Kieta. Wishark and Kieta. Literally any player in here who was there for Coldheart, I would like you to tell me if I'm lying. Let me know if I'm not speaking the full truth. Bojack not being Unk is equal to a 50% peak Bojack. You know, getting good at games is way easier when you're younger. You know that, right? When I was 18, I learned a lot faster than I do now. I think I'm smarter and generally more confident at things, but I don't think, I'm saying you're glazing Morphin? No, I think Morphin is that good. Morphin and Kreutz are that good. It was a real problem in the community for such a long time that, like, the best players weren't actually the best players. Because Coldheart retired, Kiata retired, I retired, Bidu wasn't entering tournaments. So there would be tournaments. There was like a good 2-year period where people would win tournaments, but no one ever really cared that much because it's like, oh, well, it doesn't really mean anything when the best players aren't playing. I'm very thankful that the players of the modern era have caught up to the point where that's no longer the case. The best players are playing for the most part, and it's so good for the game. Will the mod be available for consoles? Unfortunately, it's not possible. Who's the current top 5 best UCH players right now? Pigs, it is not Kreutz, Morphin, Tornado, Raito, and Aimbot. That is... The current top 5 is Morphin and Kreutz are in the first tier, and then the second tier is some combination of me, Raito, EvanXO, and Fish. I think those are... If Variety Bear was playing, he would also be within that tier. I feel pretty strongly about that. But those 5 players are the only ones who have contention for top 5 spots. No one else is in that tier, IMO. I think EvanXO is for sure in it, by the way. He's stupidly good now. I'm very excited for when he comes back. Bro, I'm doing based on tourney results. I think even based on tournament results. I don't know that that's true. Toe is super close to tier 2. He's getting there. He's definitely getting there. I wish I got to see Bidu compete. Bro, I wish I got to see Bidu compete. I think if Bidu had entered party mode tournaments during his prime, I think he would have made even Coldheart's dominance look silly in comparison. Because, like, in the era of, like, Pausia, Ramon, Morphin, and, like, and Raito, Bidu was just so much better. Bidu was just by far the best player in the world. I don't think he would have dropped a game in any tournament that he entered. Although, I don't know. I don't think I can say it's a blanket statement that his dominance would have been more than Coldheart's, because it's also a psychological game, and being able to win as much as Coldheart did, you just need to have nerves of steel, and I don't know if Bidu would have had that. It's impossible to say. But I wish I got to see it. I really wish I got to say it. I have 8 top 3s in a row. You do, but that doesn't make you tier 2, because the tier 2 players aren't playing. Like, those top 3s are very impressive, don't get me wrong. I don't mean to mitigate, you know, I don't mean to diminish your skill as a player, because you're obviously very skilled. But, like, me, Variety Bear, Evan, and Fish are not playing, and Raito's admittedly struggling a little bit with the game at the moment. How good was Ramon? Ramon was very good. Ramon was very, very good. However you place Pausia all time, or however good you think she is, or like people like Morphin, Kreutz, if Ramon stayed active, he would absolutely be in the tier 1 of player. He would probably be a tier 1 player. The game has advanced a lot since Ignition, so I can't say for sure that he would have kept up, but he was great. Bojack, I didn't know maps were ranked in tiers. Could you explain what defines skill areas? I don't know what you mean, to be honest. What about your Pausia? Pausia's in that same level as Ramon for about 2 years. So let's go back to the UCH history, because this is big stuff. 2020 is when things switched up, because tier 1 all of a sudden, Coldheart and Kiata were neck and neck. Kiata was so good, bro. He was dominant. He was just not losing anything for a while. And, you know, famously, he challenged Coldheart and was the first person to ever win a tournament over him in the old school tournament. And then tier 2, I would say a pretty good bit behind. I think me and Kevin kind of existed in tiers of our own, where very clearly we wouldn't lose to anyone below us, but neither of us... Like, we would take games off Coldheart and Kiata, but, like, back then we played best of 3 sets, so we never took sets off of them. At least not in 2020. Tier 3, you had, like, still people like Larspers, Bowser Jr., Yoshi was really good at one point. I don't think Ember was good by this point. Ember wasn't great yet. Copley, I don't know. 2020 was mostly the best, like, it was mostly just the players at the top being really good, and then everyone else was kind of scrambling to catch up, but there weren't any super notable tier 3 players. 2021, it's around the time where Coldheart was kind of retired. He still entered occasionally. He was clearly there. Kiata, obviously tier 1. I think by this point, I had beaten Kiata. I feel like I was there. I feel like I would have beaten Coldheart if we played, but I don't know. I don't know. What is this Bojack guy doing? Glazing himself? I mean, it's valid glaze. I was the best in the world for a bit. I think that's not... You know, I think I can give myself a little bit of glaze every once in a while. I'm pretty darn good. Alright, let's focus only on the top tiers for now. 2022 is where things got dark, okay? Because after... So Coldheart had retired, so it was just me and Kiata competing for a while. And for the longest time, he completely had the edge. Towards the end, I'd caught up, and then I finally beat him. And I don't know how Kiata felt about this personally. I don't know. I actually don't know what he was feeling internally about this, but I beat him in the graduation tournament or whatever. It was the UCH Academy. It had like a ranked mode. And then the top 8 players were put into the pro bracket, and then, you know, players 9 through 16 were placed in tier 2 bracket. So me and Kiata played in winners finals, and I prevailed. And then he DQ'd from the losers bracket after, and that was kind of just his retirement from the game. I think for him, it probably felt the same way it felt for me, where it kind of became empty. Just having Coldheart gone just changed everything. It's so hard to compete when you know that even if you win it all, even if you do everything you possibly can, you're still chasing the shadow of someone who isn't there anymore, you know? The shoes are so big to fill, and without the opportunity to beat him directly, they aren't fillable at all. It's not possible to catch. So, Coldheart retired. After I beat Kiata, he retired, so I'm like, you know what? Like, I think I'm done. I retired as well. And because I retired, some people below us retired, and then it went down and down, and it was really rough for a while. It was really rough for a while. So in 2022, these were the dark ages of UCH. This was the time period where, like, we would have, like, 4-person tournaments. And this is when the modern era of players started to emerge. So Pausia, Ramon, Morphin, and Raito. Those are these... I think Raito was a little bit later. I think Raito was, like, 2023. Morphin, if you're here, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 2022 was when you started to be a good player, right? Started 2021, got good 2022. Jack, before I can forget to ask, can you refund my juggling points? Yeah, I can. I'll do that now. Alright, I've refunded 70,000 points to the masses. Go crazy. That's when challenge mode was more prominent. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good point. That's a really good point. Because 2022 was a split in the community. I didn't retire from the game as a whole. I left to focus on streaming and focus on challenge mode. Because if I couldn't, if I didn't have the opportunity to prove myself against Coldheart, competing there felt empty. But there is another person who showed up around this time, mid-2021. Bidu hits the scene. And in a very short amount of time, it was clear that he was in the top tier player. So 2022 that was like the time period where me and Bidu were competing against each other to, you know, try and be the best speedrunner or challenge map player. I think by 2023, Bidu was the best. But at this period in time, it was like... This was like the height of the PH1 back and forth battles. And it was awesome. It was actually awesome. Who is Ramon? We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yeah, 2022 was like low-key the golden age of UCH speedrunning. That's when like Madman started too. There were a bunch of people who were speedrunning and doing challenge mode. So that was like the main way that I think that was the main form of competition within the community at the time. So you kind of have to split 2022 into two things, because like the tier 1 players were me and Bidu, but the tier 1 party players were these three. Ramon was actually a student of mine. I taught him how to play the game in 2019-ish, and then he left for a while and then returned and started to get really good. What's up, Swarion? Also, I'm totally missing YouTube comments. Who is the current protagonist of Ultimate Chicken Horse? I don't know, but I think it's interesting that I don't know. I want to say that it's Morphin. I want to say that it's Morphin because, like, for the last year or so, Kreutz has been the guy to beat. And before that, Morphin was the guy to beat. But now that he's, like, returning, it's really up in the air, and, like, I'm excited. I'm excited to know who is the best. That's what I love about tournaments so much. And the fact that I don't know is good for the game. I think Morphin's attempt to return, you know, to reclaim the throne would make him the protagonist at the moment. I would love for Raito to be the protagonist. I think UCH is good when Raito is good, but I think right now he's struggling a bit with the game. Hopefully the UCH Asia server will help him. Quaff, why do you keep saying when are we releasing the Bojack files? Enough. No more. Okay, 2023. Tier 1. As a matter of fact, I don't think Morphin was tier 1. Morphin was not tier 1 at this point, because like for 2022 and 2023, Pausia and Ramon won almost everything. Morphin and Raito, this is around the time where Raito got good. But it was the Pausia and Ramon show. They were like exactly equal with each other. I think I have it somewhere. Let me grab it. Okay, here's 2023, 2022, 2024. It's 2022. Oh yeah, okay, Ember was up there too. Ember was a tier 2 player. Okay, so I guess Morphin wasn't that good yet. But this is around the time he was starting to get good. But Pausia and Ramon very clearly were the two best players than Ember and like Madman. But I mean, as you can see, the total number of people who entered tournaments the whole last year, 20. It was the Dark Ages. Stop that. 2023, again, Pausia and Ramon were there. Selly was also a great player. I should have mentioned Selly before, because Selly was a tier 2 player in like the 2020, 2021 era, for sure. So it was very good. But yeah, like even still, right around here is when Morphin got there. But Ramon was like the best. Pausia probably second, maybe Morphin. 2024 is around the time where modern UCH started. It was towards the end of 2024, because still things were a little bit rough early in the year. And it wasn't clear who was the best. This was like the no man's land. 2023 and 2024, we had very clearly, we knew it was like Pausia and Ramon, Pausia and Ramon. As soon as 2024 hit, like, anyone can win a tournament. Selly wins. Milena wins. Raito wins. Kreutz wins. This is when Kreutz rose to power. Morphin wasn't playing as much. That's when he was washed Morphin. Kreutz kind of came out of nowhere, and he got good fast. Very fast. But everything realistically started at the very end of the year with Ignition. So let's, let me pull this up. Ignition was my return to UCH. You know, my return to like community organizing and trying to be the guy doing what I'm doing now. I think people get a lot of misconceptions. A lot of the time when people say that, like, oh, you know, the era of Cold Heart was Mickey Mouse, I think that extends. If that's the belief you want to hold, I think that extends until, like, Ignition. People got way, way, way better after this point specifically. Like, I mean, even just watching Morphin and Kreutz from Ignition, they were not anywhere near as good as they were compared to today. But then after that, I mean, it was just the Morphin show. He was very obvious, like, look at how much he's winning. He was the #1 guy for a good year, and now it's Kreutz and Morphin. It's just exciting. I don't know. Now we're in the modern era of UCH, and I think it's better than it's ever been. Morphin still wash chopped ass. Dunk genuinely retire. You might be onto something there. I remember this rivalry. Which rivalry? The one between me and Bidu, or the one between Ramon and Pausia? Me and Bidu's rivalry was fun. I wish that I took it... I wish that I stayed consistent in grinding. Because I think towards the end of it, it was just reaching a point where, like, I wasn't grinding hard enough. I wasn't putting in the effort that I needed to beat someone as good as Bidu. But yeah, it was special. Well, both, but I was talking about Ramon Pausia. Yeah, Ramon Pausia was also a wonderful rivalry. If every UCH player played at their absolute best, who would be top 5? All right. We're talking absolute best, like your current, we're talking the year 2026. If every single player alive played at their absolute best, it would be 1, Morphin. Morphin has the highest peak of any UCH player. When he's moving and playing well, he just doesn't feel beatable by anyone except for Kreutz, who is the clear #2. Playing at their absolute best. If I'm being honest, I honestly think that it's me. I think my absolute, if we're talking peak performance, absolute best you can play, I think it's either me or Raito. I'll give it to Raito because I think his absolute best is visible through tournament play, but I do think my best is 3rd. This would be it's either Fish or VB. If we're talking like VB's absolute best might even be better than mine. VB's absolute best is ridiculous. Cause like VB's not lacking in mechanical skill at all. The only thing that ever holds him back in tournament is just like other stuff like building or like mentality or whatever. So I don't know. But his absolute best is really good. I still think I'm probably biased, but I think my absolute best is 3rd. VB might be #1 genuinely. Morphin's absolute best is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Redonkulous. Absolutely crazy. Where's Master XD? I don't know, and I don't want to go too far down the rankings because I think for the people who are at the top, it's more fine to talk about their skill level because, you know, like if I enter a tournament as a top player, I'm signing up and I understand that like people are gonna speculate on my skill level. I think as you go further and further down the line, I think that becomes less appropriate. So I only ever really like ranking the people who are at the very top when I can. Why are people hating? I believe in Big Bojo. I'm saying, I'm good, dude. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? My absolute best is so good. Why are you believing? What do you mean? I'm Bojack, guys. I'm Bojack. Raito top 5, I think. Yeah, I think Raito's absolute peak. Okay, to be honest, if we are talking absolute peak right now in terms of what you can put out, I actually do think I'm putting myself there. And then I'm going to put a title so no one misinterprets this. That's how I'd put it. Holy D rank. I think Raito's just struggling with the game right now. I have not a single doubt in my mind that he can reclaim the throne and become a tier 1 player. And more than any other person on the planet, by the way, I want to see that. I'm rooting for Raito. Every time Raito's in a tournament, I'm rooting for him above every other player. There's nobody who I want to win more than Raito. Because when he does well, it's electric, man. It's electric. It's special. What happened to Raito? Nothing in particular. I won't speak on it. I don't know, but like nothing in particular happened. I think one thing I will say is that most of the casual audience probably gets a bit of an overinflated idea of where Raito is in like the pecking order of UCH. Because I talk about him a lot, and I talk about like if everyone were at their absolute best, Raito would win. I think that's a bit of a hyperbole. I think Raito at his absolute peak is insane, and there's a chance that that is true. Because he is just that guy, you know? When it happens. But like Morphin and Kreutz are the 2 best players in the world. And I don't think there's even like a potential for a debate there. So Raito is up there. One of the greatest players of all time. One of the greatest players right now. But Morphin and Kreutz exist in a realm of their own at the moment. Because of you? Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Glaze, show your peak right now. Alright, I'm not gonna play, but I can show you. Here, guys, have a look, man. Have a look. We can watch this together. Holy, what a bailout. Oh my god. Wow. This map is ridiculously hard, guys. Literally no one cares. Alright, I'm muting you. You're getting an hour timeout. Be more kind. I like banter, but you gotta be tactful with it. Yeah, I could beat this light work for a girl like me. I believe that. Arlo is... You can't see him right now, but he's right here. Arlo, say hi to the stream. Okay, buddy, chill. Show your best in a tournament? Here's the problem. I don't enter tournaments. That's the whole problem. If you want to see my best in tournament, you would have to go back to like 2021. I mean, hell, you could look at day 1 of Grand Swiss 5. I was cooking. Or, fuck it. Is there a clip? There's a clip somewhere. There's a clip somewhere. I need to believe you're better than right. The beautiful thing about faith is that sometimes you just gotta believe and hope for the best. Or, you know what? You don't even have to believe it if you don't want. I'm saying this because you asked who I thought, you know, someone asked who I thought would be the top 5 if everyone played at their absolute best. And this is what I think. What's your cat's ranking in the UCH tier list? Yeah, he's number 1. No question. Bojack to Raito's Gotham to Magnus? Yeah, absolutely. What would have to be done to make you consider playing tournaments again? To be clear, I really, really, really want to compete in tournaments. I just can't. It's sad, but like, every day I wake up and then I clock in for work, and then I finish work, and then I'm working on editing, and then I finish editing for the day, and then I'm working on programming and other stuff for the UCH community. I don't spend a single hour of most days playing games. And I don't think that's going to be forever. But it's like right now, I have a genuine once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in front of me. I have the kind of, I have the potential to live out the life that so many people dream of. If you go to a classroom of kids and say, what do you want to be when you grow up? How many of them are going to say they want to be like a YouTuber or something? It's a genuine once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so like, for now, I'm putting my head down and I'm working as much as I possibly can. Because I believe, you know, I believe in everything that I'm doing. I think the UCH community can grow so much. I think my videos can do better. So that just doesn't leave me the time that I need to compete. And I could enter tournaments just entering with no preparation, but the thing is just like, people are really cringe when it comes to skill. And you know, as lame as it is, like, I don't want to compete if I don't feel like I'm doing myself justice. I don't want to enter a tournament and because I didn't have the time necessary to practice, I'm just losing to someone who's worse than me. That's not, you know, I don't think that's fair to even myself to do that for me, you know? And I don't think it's fair to the community either, because, like, y'all deserve to see me at my best. Maybe I would compete under an alt. If I could compete under, I wish I could enter as an alt so I didn't have to deal with all that, but, like, how do I enter as an alt without people knowing it's me? I think my movement is, like, the most distinctly visible out of any top player. We need to hop on 2v2s and Bounty Hunter again? True. Bojack on his Atlas arc? I absolutely am. Bojack, the last tournament you won was in 2020 called Fight Club Tournament. Okay, to be fair, I did, you know, I have won some pop-ups. The most of the competing that I've done since then has been in pop-up tournaments, and I do pretty good in them. I won one over Fish and Master not that long ago. And I think those tournaments were more legitimate in terms of how you value skill than 2020 Fight Club was. What is the training mod? This is just the demo. This is not the actual. Oh my goodness, what just happened? Holy moly. This is basically Terry's Guide tech. Yeah. But the thing is, it is going to be mostly, like, Terry's Guide still covers the things that you need to know. It's going to be similar to Terry's Guide. The whole idea is just like, I want to make Terry's Guide faster. And stuff like this makes it way, way faster. And it feels less like free play. It's less boring. I like the color scheme. Thank you. Is it possible to skip cutscenes? Not currently, but it will be. Cutscenes are still like a work in progress. When you finish the training mod, do you think you plug it into the end of videos at all? Absolutely. I'm probably going to plug it in earlier in videos. I want people to download it. I want people to get into the game. I want UCH to grow. I'm gonna be plugging it for sure. No question. Does it save where you are in a tutorial when you leave and join? Yep, it does. It does. It does. Okay, wait, let me see YouTube. Bojack, I meant if every character was in their prime and played the best they have, who would be top 5? What do you mean, character? I don't know. Where do I find the maps that tourneys use? You go here, levelnet.uch.com. I'll send the link. It is in the YouTube chat if you want to see it. I'll send it in Twitch chat as well for anyone who is curious. Just go here, go from all to legal, and then this shows you all the tournament legal maps. Is this map legal? Okay, yeah, the gameplay is good. That is a crazy blue, though. Probably forehead should be rated like 3,000. UCH is underrated. Bojack, I have 600 hours, but I'm still not that good. How do I get good? I would need to know where you are in your personal UCH journey for me to have an idea of what you need to do. Play in the Discord, enter amateur tournaments, and every time you play a game, save that game and practice the things you struggled with. As long as you're doing that, you will get better. It's a very simple process. Honestly, I'd spent 50 hours in the game before I realized that holding jump gave you different jump heights. Yeah, that's one thing that I think should be communicated in UCH. I think there should be a simple tutorial that just tells you the bare minimum basics of the game. Because there are a lot of people that don't know that. Characters and UCH players? Yeah, I just gave you the list of UCH players. If everyone played at their absolute best. Is that not the list that I gave you? All of them are UCH players. Will the mod be available on Thunderstore/RT? Yes, the mod will be on Thunderstore for sure. I really want to at some point make a mod loader. I don't know yet. Like, I want to make a competitive UCH client, actually. That's what I want. It could act like it's like a mod loader, and it would have a bunch of stuff built in. Like, training mod would be built in. If I made the competitive matchmaking, that would be built in. Stuff like that. Do you like chips? Yeah. I do like chips. I got some chips right here. Miss Vicky's Salt and Vinegar, the goat. Time to play these with friends? Hell yeah. I wish there's a way to mass delete levels. After practicing them, my local levels look like a dump. Oh, you're telling me I have a ridiculous number of local levels. You once said that if every UCH player played at their absolute best, Raito would win. Yeah, homie, this list right here, the one that I made, this is the list of if every player on the day of June 30th, 2026, if every player played at their absolute best, this is the top 5, in my opinion. It's up for debate. There are other players who could for sure be in there. But I feel like I answered your question. Am I crazy or is this stream pre-recorded? You are crazy. Go check my favorite color is magenta. I like green. Also check everything. Okay. What are you pinging me for? I'm deleting this. Also, don't post that because it's... The rankings have... Oh my god, the rankings have... Also, I do actually play the game, aimbot. I actually do play the game. I just literally can't compete, but I want to compete. But Flower, don't post that, because the rankings have context when I'm talking about it on stream. And the second you take a picture and show it, you're doing the exact thing that I explicitly said. I'm like, I don't want to happen with rankings. Very cringe. Genuinely, there are none of these questions here. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I'm streaming on both. Alright, I'm done looking at this. Alright, Quaff. Stop this. Who reads YouTube? Me! I do! Love your channel, by the way. Thank you, homie. I appreciate that. Would there be a mod in the future for mass deletion? Probably not. If someone else makes it, then sure. Is Prime Raito top 3? Probably. He's insane. Bojack is just... okay. I can't hide any longer. You guys did get me. I thought I was being slick, but yeah, none of these questions are real. I'm just asking questions that I'm saying are in YouTube chat. I'm just lying about that. I don't stream on YouTube. I just wanted to answer those questions. I just wanted to say this stuff, so I made them up. Sorry. Just as many people are watching on YouTube. Yeah, in fact, more people are watching on YouTube right now. What would you say was UCH's prime years? 2027. Those are the UCH's prime years. Next year will be the best year in UCH. And call me crazy, 2028 will be even better. If we're strictly talking about the past of UCH, 2025 was an incredible year. An incredible year. What's the statistic about your UCH history you would love to know? I would love to see my win rate. I would love to see my win rate in casual games against every player. Across different years. I think that would be cool to know. Quaffle! Stop! I actually mean stop it. I don't want to have to time you out. But it's getting annoying. I get that you're joking, but... the joke is overplayed. Can you show us your head before you go to Turkey? Hell no. Probably not. Probably not. Because, like, I'm not trying to open up that vulnerable side of myself to YouTube or to Twitch. What good could possibly come of that? People are not kind on the internet. I would like to see my... Yo, Evan, thank you for the sub. My goat. My goat. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a fun time in America. Yeah, that would be a good one, VB. That would be a good one. Are you bald? I am not bald. I'm not bald, but my hairline definitely goes like yay back. Turkey trip coming in soon. I mean, I think it's the first thing I'm buying. Like, as soon as the next YouTube check comes in, I've made a pretty redonkulous amount of money this month. So I definitely won't be able to pay for it. Very exciting. Oh my god, Flower. It's annoying. I'm done with it. The joke is... I agree. It is an unfunny joke making light of a serious situation, and I don't... It's enough. Enough. I feel like we've become so desensitized to some things that are actually just genuinely horrible. And I get that for most people that's their way of coping with the crippling reality of the world, but like... I don't know. When you hear the Epstein files, it shouldn't be like something that feels like a joke. It should be something that you were like profoundly angry at. More than anything. Why do you main horse? I used to main raccoon. I switched to horse and he felt good. So I started playing him and I changed my name to Bojack, and then the rest is history. Once you're Bojack, you know, I'm always a horse. Moving to Twitch for you to actually read the questions. What's your cat's ranking in the UCH tier list? I actually did answer that. My cat is number 1. Easy peasy. Arlo is insane at UCH. Flower, if you're asking, I will give you the timeout. It is all yours. You can have a day. Kiwi, it would take me a stupid amount of time to notice. Like, a very long amount of time. Hope you are having a good time with socials. Looks like the peak of UCH is near because of you. Thank you, Omi. I am having a good time. I don't know. I think this is the best month of my life so far. It's just been incredible. I don't know. I genuinely feel like I'm living my dream. There's still ways to go, but it's just weird. It's surreal. Like the other day there was a tweet about my video. Okay, homie is going crazy with the posts on Twitter. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked. Jeez Louise. Someone posted this. This got 1.4 million views, 79,000 likes. But it's like, it's insane. Scrolling through the comments. Okay, this guy's a fucking hater. Oh my god. Where is it? Hob off Bojack UCH. That's my goat. Bojack UCH slander on the timeline. Don't ever disrespect Bojack again. Bojack UCH is goat. Like, there's just so many people. Like, it's just weird. It's really weird that people know who I am. It is genuinely surreal. Or like, I've recently, when I'm taking a break from editing, I'll often hop in a public lobby, you know. I'll hop in a public lobby for one game. For the past week, I've probably played in like 8 lobbies, and people have recognized me every single time, and it feels crazy. It feels really crazy. I don't know. Do you have an Instagram? I do have an Instagram. I don't have a public Instagram. I think at some point I will have a Bojack Instagram, but I don't want to share my private Instagram. Bojack is too Hollywood. Not Hollywood. It just feels crazy. Twitter views, yeah, Twitter views are worth way less than YouTube views, but it's still a lot of people who have seen the video or know about my video. It's just unreal. Okay, well, Ozzy, don't say that. If I said I don't want my Instagram, I don't want you to say, oh, guys, Bojack doesn't want this, but you can just ask this guy, and then you can have his Instagram, the one that he said he didn't want you to have, by the way. Don't ask that. No. They're talking about casual instead of... No, I don't think it's Ozzy. From where do you download music? I just use, like... Here's my process. Before every single time I make a video, I listen to one, like the full OST from some game that I think might have songs that could be used. I listen to it anytime I hear a song that conveys a specific emotion. It could be any emotion that I might want to convey in a video. If it does that, I download it, just YouTube to MP3. and then I put it in a local files folder, and then I put that into Spotify, and then I have playlists for each emotion that I want to convey in the video, and then as I'm writing the script, I think, what emotion am I conveying with this section? And then I listen through until I find the right song, and then I write the script while listening to that music, because it allows you to like time the way you say things with parts of the music, and it makes a big difference. I think this is, I don't know of any other YouTubers who do this, and I think literally every single one of them should. You should listen to Cruelty Squad OST. I'll write that on the list. Yeah, Menace, you did miss the training mod. I'm done with it for now. Will we get a fully scripted UCH history video at some point? I think so. What's happening? I'm gonna be real. Your videos are so good and they go into great detail about this game. It's super entertaining and informative. Thank you, Hamish. I really appreciate that. I honestly feel like my videos are really good. Like, I used to be like, oh, my videos are good for, you know, a UCH player. But I honestly just think my videos are really good. I think, like, what is stopping me? What is stopping me from, you know, getting into the millions of views territory? Like, right now, my videos are doing great. They're getting, like, 300 to 500K over, like, 30 days on average. That's already really good. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's nothing stopping me. I feel like there's nothing stopping me. Have you reconsidered the Precision Hell video idea? I'm gonna do a Precision Hell video someday, just because, like, if I'm doing weekly uploads, I don't want to run out of content, so literally anything that I can cover, I will cover. But not yet. The PH1 blindfold video is coming first. And before that, I think I'm doing a video that goes like super deep into the strategy of UCH. Cause like the hay bale video, I mentioned that like with high enough, I want to limit test. I want to see how deep I can dive into the game without, you know, losing the appeal to a broader audience. The video after Werby Shuffle, it might be 2 videos from now depending on the timeline, but I'm going deep into it. This is a much more technical video, and I think it could still do well. I just want to limit test. I want to see how far I can go with it, because if I can really go that deep, then I think I'm not going to run out of content ever. Evan, we do, bro. We do need it. You have to wait for the sub 16 before a PH1 video? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Sub 16 is one of the first grinds I want to go for when I have the time to fully return to UCH. I think if I fully return to UCH, it'll be after, you know, my contract is up for Clever Endeavor, if I don't re-sign. I don't know. That's personal, though. I don't know what I'm doing with respect to all that. What is the Werby Shuffle? You'll find out on Friday. Werby Shuffle is SFR. Okay, wait. So you can use every game's OST on YouTube freely? Yes, you can. Because think about it from the perspective of game designers. When people make videos about your game, that's free marketing. People buy the game because of that. If you copyright strike any videos that use your music, you're copyright striking the videos that are selling your game for you. That's bad. You don't want that. So, like, almost any video game OST is free and fair use. What is the greatest 1v1 set / game of all time? Great question. Okay, wait, actually there's a question I missed before. Has anyone ever recognized you in public? Kind of. I've had situations where I was talking with someone and they asked what I did and I explained and they're like, oh my god, like I watch your videos. And that always felt surreal, but I've never had someone be like, holy shit, you're Bojack. Not yet. Someday. Although I don't know. I don't know if I want to be recognized in public, 'cause that'd be weird. The greatest 1v1 set or game of all time. Either Raito, Pausia, Frostbite Grand Finals. That one felt special. There are a few Variety Bear sets that are up there, but I can't remember exactly which ones. I think the obvious answer is just Cold Heart and Kieta, but there is no full video of it. And if you watched it these days, I don't think you'd be able to appreciate it because the whole thing that made it good was just the insane context and lore that went into it. But it was incredible. It was incredible enough that over a 3.5 hour set, we didn't lose a single viewer. Frostbite Grands is my favorite for sure. Really, Frostbite Grand Finals? Because that was Morphin Raito. I think the Grand Finals narratively was cool, but the actual games were like, they were fine. But I didn't feel crazy about them. Bojack vs. Kyler, though? Dude, Kyler might cook me. He might cook me in a UCH game. When will you give in to popular demand and finally make the 2.5 hour documentary on why Armadillo is the best character model? Dude, how did you know? That's next week's video, man, and I just spoiled it. Now I'm never gonna be able to do it because you spoiled it, man. That's all you. That's your fault, by the way. Thanks a lot. Should they add lasers to UCH? They should add a lot of things to UCH. I think I would love to be in a position where I could work on the game directly. Cause like I can give input on things, but like I can't change the code. I think there's so much you could do to improve the game. So much. Should I do Precision Heaven? I just don't like Peach 2 respectfully. Yeah, go for it. Precision Heaven's pretty fun. I will say some of the Precision Heaven levels fall victim to fake precision, which is bad. I'm a fake precision hater. I want my precision to be real. Fake precision? I'll show you what I mean. Where is it? Or maybe I have a video of the clear. Do I? Maybe I don't. Does anyone have the code for Precision Heaven 5? Does anyone have the code for any level by Tornado? Anyone, please, please, please. Code Gamble? I don't think I have a new code, unfortunately. I don't. Yeah, it is Menace. Send me the code for any Tornado level. Aimbot's got my back. Thank you very much. That's Precision Heaven 6. Okay, let's... Oh god, scrolling through LevelNet and UCH. We got this, guys. We got this. Tornado, why do you have 39 pages of levels, bro? Oh my goodness, dude. When did Precision Heaven start? Precision Heaven 3. Okay, here we are. Here we are. I know there's some of it in this level. Not to say this level's bad. By the way, to be clear. Alright, this right here. This is fake precision. Because it looks like you're doing something precise. But you're not. You just naturally line up. Like, the way you do the jump lines you up for the jump. Or like, where's the next one? Stuff like this. Here, there's an alignment into this. It's not, you know, it's not real precision. You could remove this and then bang, real precision. But it's just things that look like you're being precise when you're not actually. Or like this right here. This is fake precision. Oh, sorry. You're just doing a quick jump from right here. There is a lot of real precision, but like... I don't remember what I'm supposed to do there. Stuff like this. This... fake precision. This, fake precision. Alignment, alignment. You know what I mean? I like precision. Where if I don't have to NST to do it, then it's fake precision. I'm so sorry, but where's the UCH training mod? I already gave, you know what, fuck it, why not? I'll give just one more quick demo, just a little tiny one though. You can, just so you can have a look. I feel like learning fake precision has helped me a lot with finding helpful alignments mid-set though. Yeah, absolutely, there's good uses for everything. This is in UCH. This is a mod that I have created. Yep. This is in UCH. Does it still remove the fun report? It does. Ah, why did I press E again, bro? Why did I? Anyways, you get the point. You get the point. That is the mod. It is dope. I'm very proud of it. It is the biggest mod I've ever made, and I think it is for sure the best mod I've ever made. And also, I haven't forgotten about the training pack mod. It's just, there's a very, very good reason why I'm not working on it, and I'm not allowed to say. So that's all I can give you. That's all I can give you. Why is this hat like that? It's confusing. What's the thought process behind having the NPCs disappear? Because it looks really awkward having a million NPCs all on the map. Doesn't look good. I tried both. Disappearing looked better. When are the seasonal rankings coming out? My artist got back to me yesterday about this actually, and he said he has too much on his plate to do it. The problem is, if there's anyone here who is good at graphic design, I will pay you money. I will pay you money to do the rankings, because I would love to do them, but I'm genuinely working every single hour of every single day. Like, I already just have a ridiculous amount on my plate, and I just don't have the time to do it anymore, unfortunately. So if you're a graphic designer, I will pay you some money to make that happen. How good do I need to be? You need to be good. I think you need to be at least as good as I am. I'll put it that way. Good is very broad. I mean, if you're good, just submit me. If you think you're good, just submit some of your work, and I will let you know. But yeah, it is definitely, it is a big regret of mine that I can't get the season rankings out as, you know, sooner. Because I think it's bad for the game. I think it's really bad for the game. After this season's rankings, they're gonna be on pause until I can finish Chonkbot 2.0. Because Chonkbot 2.0 is gonna automate the process of a lot of things. I mean, part of it's already done. Like, Ozzy made Comp UCH, like the statistics viewer. That was part of my plan, because I needed something like that to make the ranking process easier, because getting the data was just such a pain in the ass, and it took so long. But yeah, once it's automatic, it'll be better. What animals would you want in UCH? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want animals that are well designed in terms of gameplay, though. Things that feel like horse, feel like sheep, feel like bunny. Ferret. Ferret could be good. My work is my banner and I low-key need money. Unfortunately, I don't think you're there quite yet, Pigs. I'm still looking out. Like, I've contacted a couple artists. I've contacted a couple artists who I think could do a good job of it. I just think it's very important that the rankings are done well. Because when people come into the community and they're like, oh, I want to see who's the best. If it doesn't look good, it doesn't look serious. The game doesn't have a very real... I don't know. That kind of stuff just matters. It really does. Alright. I am going to end stream because this stream is already way longer than it was supposed to be. I was going to stream for an hour. I have a shitload of work that I have to get back to. So I'm leaving. Goodbye, everybody. It has been very lovely. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. Okay, fine, I'll answer this one question first. Would you say that it's worth switching from axolotl to something like horse or sheep instead of staying with the character I'm used to? I honestly don't know the answer. I think the truth of the matter is that every single player in the last top 10 was either horse, sheep, bunny, or raccoon. Those are just very clearly the 4 best characters. I think you probably can succeed at a high level with worse characters, but I honestly believe that the character you play has a real impact on your skill. I don't think it's like a non-issue of you just get used to a character and then the differences don't matter. I think it is a real thing. Some characters are worse than others. So it's your call. I think maybe stick with what you with. Stick with what you're used to, what you're already with now. And then if you get good enough for it to matter, then switch. Because you can always switch down the line and you genuinely don't lose anything. Thank you. Topping you. Nice, alright. Alright, bye-bye everyone. Bye-bye for real. Peace. Okay, wait, actually one more thing. If anybody here is a skin artist, all I'm gonna say, it would be really, really, really cool if we could make a mod that improved the skin, like improved the default characters, the ones that have, you know, art that doesn't align with their hitboxes. If we could remake the skins to be the same character, but it just aligns better and looks better, that would be huge for the game. I'm just saying, if anyone is good at that kind of thing and is interested, hit me up. Maybe I make the mod if people can make the skins. All right, bye-bye for real. Bye-bye for real now. I'm actually leaving.